Hello there, it's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee. So today what I'm going to do is make the simplest of simple tote bags from oilcloth. So I've got my fabric all lined up here and I have it folded over fourfold. Now, okay, oilcloth does need special consideration when you're sewing it. If it's a warm day and your fabric's slightly sticky, then we may have to take precautions like sewing over a piece of greaseproof paper or something like that, just to keep it from sticking to your needle. Now it's a nice cool day today, so I don't have to worry. And all I'm doing is I'm trying to keep it lined up whilst I'm cutting it. This is because it does have a will of its own, you know. If I left the room now, it would have I don't know, refolded itself into an origami swan. It just needs special consideration. So all I'm doing now is I have my fabric and I am folding it and cutting it into 4 squares. Okay, I'm going to put that to the side. That's all out of the way now. And the strip that I cut off the front, just a normal strip, I'm going to take my sewing machine and I'm going to fold it half an inch over, and then I'm going to fold them together. Now, I've only done the top couple of inches, and there's a reason for this. It's because I can either do it all and pin it, or I can do the couple of inches. I can just hold it in the sewing machine, and then I can worry about the next couple of inches. So again, I'm folding it over with half an inch on either side and then tucking those loose ends in and then folding it over. And if I crease it with my thumb, it will stay there. It's very good. Okay, so problem with sewing oilcloth is when we're sewing on the right side. So we've got the top bit can be a bit sticky, and we could remedy that if it was slipping by taking a piece of paper and literally, see-through is best, tracing paper of some sort, just sewing that over, and then we can rip this off afterwards. It's only if it's a bit sticky. So I've sewn a bit, I've folded a bit, and then I will ignore that bit of paper. And I'm only holding it in place. I'm not holding it with any brute force. What I don't want to do is I don't want to twist it in any way. And I'll keep going till I've done the end of that piece of fabric. It's very simple, you know, there's nothing to worry about, but it's entirely up to you. If you're happier to go into the other room and lay it all out and pin it all out, then yeah, you're welcome to. I'm not though. So 2 pieces of fabric, shiny side to shiny side, sticky side, and whereas we had the problem before on sewing with oilcloth, we now don't have that problem. Just whiz down here. I'm going to leave my needle down so it's nice and pointy. Take that, go again. Oh, sorry, I wasn't concentrating. Yes, the wiggle half around the bottom is just entirely up to you. And then we're just going to do this nice long bit at the top here. So that wasn't too hard at all, and we could quite easily just sew the handles on now and we have an acceptable bag. I would like to have little feet on the bag so that it stands squarely. Now the problem with that is that we then lose the size of the bag. The bag looks smaller because it goes as if there's a panel around the outside. What I've done here is I have my bottom seam and my end seam, and I am pinching these two together. Now I want the line of my corner that I have just sewn, and I'm trying to wiggle these seams so that they join together, so I can feel them both between my thumb and my forefinger. And now all I'm going to do, and I can get some sort of angle just to find out that that's correct, and once I've got them lined up, I'm going to sew straight across. Lovely, couple of reverse stitches. I'm using a nice long stitch for this make, so I want it to remain firm. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim off this foot with a nice even 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to keep my foot there because I'm coming back to it. And same again, find the point of the corner, line up these two seams, and you can feel them between your fingers. And then I'm going to take my previous corner, I'm going to place this underneath the sewing machine when I'm sure that everything is nice and flat and my seams together. I'm going to lay this old corner down, and I'm then going to sew straight. Now my band around the outside should look even because my feet are the same size now. Okay, so that's that done. Not too painful, was it? Not too painful at all. Alright, now we're going back to the handle now, and I want to get that all sewn on. Now what I'm going to have, it does make it stronger as well, because of if we had it just as a plain square, and it would still look fabulous as a plain square, don't get me wrong, but the weight would be distributed a bit better, so it would just make it a lot stronger if we do these little feet. Okay, so there we are. We have the bottom of the bag. It's not very easy to get nice looking nice, and we have the top. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold in probably 1.5 inches of this bag. And when I'm happy, I'm going to mark halfway between. So I'm going to take my two seams here, stretch it out, and that should give me a nice flat surface, and I'm marking halfway between the two. Sorry, not being very helpful here, am I? Okay, so then we've got halfway here. Stretch it back out again so you can see that it's a bit more bag shape. And I have my strap that I've sewn earlier. So I've got it folded in half. I want them to be level. It'll look a lot nicer. And now that I know that they're the same length, I'm going to keep this straight, and I'm going to fold it like that, and I'm going to sew it either side of this pin. Now it's really up to you. You can spend 3 hours trying to get this right, or you can just do it straight away and it works fine. So that's where it is. And do be careful that you don't bend your pin like I just did then, because you can give myself a little injury. So from the centre, and please, if you're not comfortable, do use a tape measure or something. Now all I've done is I've folded these loose ends underneath as well, and when I'm happy I'm going to sew them. Okay, I know that there's a proper name for this, but I'm going to do a sort of square with a cross on it, and I'm sure if you ran downstairs we could find any number of bags with that. Now you do have to make sure that you're not catching the underside of the bag or anything you shouldn't. I'm going to make sure that it's nice and straight, and I'm doing that by making sure that this is a nice right angled corner here. I'm going to start by sewing the cross. Now there's a few layers here, you know, don't be too unkind to your machine, but I know I've got the 2 layers of the bag, and I also have probably 4 layers of the handle. So we're taking it nice and slow. I'm going to do all my corners with my needle down so that I've got a continuous strip of sewing. Now again, lining it up, I'm just coming along the last line of the square, and I'm just going to sew through there, and then again with the needle down, and then up again and down again. I know it's a bit tedious, but this is the strongest way to sew it. It really is. Always finish up, go along the stitches if you can. I always find it's better to re-sew along the same line, but if not, we can do a couple of reverse stitches. Okay, so I've got another 3 handles to do, and then I'll be right back with you. Hello, welcome back. Okay, so I've done all my handles, and I must admit the handles is the hardest job, but you know, it's fine. I do need to spend a good 10 minutes cutting all these ends off, which is my least favourite job. But we have a fully functioning tote bag for shopping, general, sandwiches, I don't know. I always think of sandwiches when we go down to London. And yeah, there we are. I'm not doing a very good job of straightening this out, am I? Oh well. Thank you ever so much for watching. My name's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee.